Hey there, welcome back and thanks for joining me. All my supplies and equipment are down in the description box below. And if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified when new videos come out, hit that notification bell. And likes, comments, and questions are always welcomed. All right, let's get rolling here. So let me introduce everybody. Tim Holtz Media Mat, absolutely love it. Um, we're doing watercolor, so this can be used as a little palette to do some mixing on, things like that. Now, this is my mess of a palette. So let me show you what I typically use. That went weird. Okay, hold on. All right, let me show you what I use as mine. We got stuff stacked on it. This is, and I do like this. It's heavy as I'll get out. This is not travel. But this is the American Journey butcher tray. Love it. This is the big one. So it's let's say 15 by 10. Yeah. It stays like this. I rarely clean it off unless I just get these so mixed up that I can't find one. But if I need a green, I just go over here and do these greens or the blue or whatever color. Now, there's at some point, yeah, this is too much and I will rinse it off, start over. Absolutely love this. Porcelain mixes really well. Or it helps your paints mix really well. Sometimes plastic beads it up. So anyway, this is what I love. Let me set this down. It is heavy. Okay. These are the brushes so far I think I'm going to use. I've learned to kind of like this one for dabbing. It does a little bit better than the round pointy ones. It doesn't leave a point. This one just, I don't know. I've never really used one of these, but I had one and I said, let's give it a go. And of course, script brush. Got that. And I'm showing you over here on the white. Can't see it over here. All right, those are that. Now, this, I enjoy painting on this because if I need to turn and paint, turn, paint, you can tape something down if you want. This is pretty handy rather than constantly trying to pick it up and move it and stuff like that. Put it on that, and there you go. You're ready to go. Just a little fun thing. All right, now what I am going to use today, put my paper towel down, is this is a light box. Now, I've really liked this one. I can't remember if it's rechargeable. I'm almost thinking it is, so it can be used without the cord. Now, this is the typical plug-in, like phones and everything else. So this is not the cord that come with it, but it's the one I had at my desk. So, love this. Got the little clip. I will put this down in the description, this exact one. Comes with a carry case. How cool is that? Stick it right in there. It's got a zipper right there. It comes with a shoulder strap, pencil, eraser, sharpener, things like that. Here's the charger that goes with that. But like I said, I already had this one out. The paper I'm using, I just kind of look for the really thick paper that's kind of rough. I do have some smoother, but I find that if I'm putting a lot of water on it, the smooth is not going to work. If I'm not, the smooth is perfect. But yeah, the little thicker, the 140 pound, I think it is, 300 something. I'm not up on my papers, but anyhow, that's what I do. And I will put a couple of those in there because I typically do get them off Amazon. All right, well, let's get rolling. Okay, so as you can see, I kind of draw some different ones. Oh, that's a lot like that one. Just some goofy ones. I like doing that. So let's pick one. We're going to do. Let's do this guy. Um, I love these because I set down my picture, and I can really place it on my card where I want it. If I want it more to the top, I just move this around, and there we go. Now I'm having a hard time seeing that, so let me turn a light off or two. See if that helps. There. Now this will also go brighter. And pencil. Now I just lightly do this. Just start drawing it out. Now is this exact? No, I do not. Okay. Just to get me an idea. So, turn these back on. Turn this off. But yeah, this is a pretty cool little fun thing to do. Okay, let's get rolling. So I'm not going to tape this down. I just kind of haphazardly do my edges. If you really want to, tape them down. Put your little border. Make it fun. So I am just not going to do that today. Kind of don't feel it. So let's go with the little one. Now, this is a little interesting as we try to do this. Now I just put down a little water just to get it going. Then I'm going, let's do a red one. This is kind of an Indian red. I don't have mine listed. So I'm gonna put down a base. That's all I'm doing here. And the reason I don't always, no, I'm not saying I don't sometimes, but don't always lead with this part is because what it soaks up first is gonna kind of set the rest of the color. So if I did this first, it would really soak in and I couldn't have the ability to maybe lighten it up. There's that. Now, I'm going to go a little bit darker while it's still kind of wet and just start putting in. And I'm just going to go around because I kind of want it on the outside. Now, I tell you, watching other people watercolor, I realize we truly have so many different ways to do something. I like to dab my color in after I get it kind of in a spot. Now, something that I do sometimes is I'll go ahead and do this just to mess it up because I do want it kind of piecey but kind of smooth. Get a little edge there and just go in and hit it. That way it's kind of got that pieciness. Then I'm going to let that one dry. Let's go to the next one. The really thick paper too will not buckle near as bad. And if it does, it generally straightens out. Well, I've just messed up. Hold on. That doesn't bother me. It's going to be covered up. I'm putting a lot more color back on this. I'm going to switch over to this because I'm going to start patting this in. Still kind of wet. It still may move a little bit, but it's probably not going to move a whole lot. Now I really want my corners dark, so that's why I'm just really putting it in here without a whole lot of water. See how that just kind of, so I'm really liking this brush. It just kind of puts it, blends it up in there a little bit. Put a little bit in there, just something. This one's a little still wet, so it's going to blend. It's one thing cool about putting so much in your painting, and I used to not do this, and you can go back and look at some of my stuff. And there's moods that I get in that I still don't. But I like pack these full, so it's like being out of the line is the least of my concern. And I just keep doing. I just keep putting on paint, kind of doing what I see that I want to do until I come up with something that I'm like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm going to mess this up. I know. I do all that work and then I turn around and mess it up. Again, I keep doing this until I like something. So I don't have a get there quick type painting style. Yeah. And this is what I encourage you to do. Just keep putting it in there. Like I like the darkness. I may go in with a little something here, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Um, what I do want to do, I love the dark blue. Let me find my really, really, really dark blue. Yeah, that's it. I'll get some of this off. I don't want it terribly. Just to add some dark to that color. I've wiped some of that off. I'm just kind of going in and kind of blending, kind of not, because I don't want it too blended. If I was going to do it real blended, I'd have just done it all wet, but I kind of just Still like some of that bothered, chunky look. Yeah. If you're struggling with this, I get it 100%. I'm bothered by not exactness. So when I can do something that's not exact, I'm kind of loving it. All right, I'm going to go in with a little bit of, this is some Van Dyke. Kind of go in. No, I don't spray my paints or wet them down before I start. I just, if I choose to use you, you're going in. You're batting. I get there's a reason. I just don't. All right. This one will kind of do the same as far as I'm going to have some blendedness to it. And then I'm going to have some really piecey, kind of dry on dry. And again, if you're like me, I get really proud of myself when I can do the the blotchy because that's uncomfortable. I'm just going to do it like that. Now, if I'm dabbing, it deposits the paint versus if I rubbed it, it would pull it off too. I'll let that dry. Thing about watercolors, you can dry each section as you go or just let it dry and go do something else. So we're going to go do something else. All right. I'm going to put in fern leaves. I like them really well. I think they're fun. And I'll put in some bigger leaves up here, but I want to put fern in down here. Now I'm going to try this. We'll see if it works. I'm going to try to do the leaf on top of the mushroom stem. Usually all my leaves are fillers, so they go in behind it. So I'm going to put a big one right there. And I'm going to come behind it with one. Let's put it right there. Now just let this one be on top of that one. And let's put one right here. There. That's my fern ones. Now I do have, I love these brushes. This is the Black Velvet Silver Black Velvet. It is a number, what is that? 4. There, number 4. So, love these. They're very balanced. They feel good in the hand. We'll do this really not terribly light, but not straight paint either. Because I'm going to put some other colors on top of this. I'll come back over it with some darker green. And I don't have olive green in this palette, so I'm going to have to add some blue to it. So, there's the top one. Now these are going to get bigger as they go, so don't start too much to where you can't keep up. If the leaves touch, fine. If they don't, that's fine too. I don't want to go over it. Now let's do it. Like I say, I'm not real particular with these because I'm going to add a yellow. I'm going to add a dark green. I might even add some dark blue. And on the very end, we're going to put white pen through it. So now you're not going to see it as much on these just because they're smaller. But these bigger ones that I do up here, you will. All right, this is going to be my front. So let's do some of it first. Okay. I'm going to erase. I'm going to erase this because I don't want to take a chance on it showing through. Now I'm going to leave just a tad so I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm going to take some of this out. Now these are, I forget what they're called. They're in my stuff. They erase really well. Okay, back to it. Since this one's on top, I'm going to let it kind of rule the roost leaf-wise. There. Now I'll go in and, at this point, I'll fill in. Now I'll probably put a little bit more yellow on that back one maybe than the front, or vice versa, just so they don't look like that. So I'll push them to be a little different color. And let's see. Filler leaves. Again, this is just the base. This is just our beginning. We're going to layer on top of it. Let's see. Let's do one here. And I do make them a little on the fatter side, just so you can tell the difference, that there's two different things going on. And this is where you might feel a little uncomfortable, because I do. Um, Making it understand that this is behind all of this. We might not actually see it, which just kind of blows my mind a little bit, because I want everything so up front and pitch perfect and all the leaves connected to stems, and that doesn't always happen. So it's not a big deal. Like this, I'll just kind of start putting leaves in like they should have been there. So step out, be uncomfortable, and have some daggum fun. Yeah. Because when you get done, you're going to be so proud of yourself. All right. See how fun that is? I mean, it's like you can whip around and just do all kinds of stuff. Now, look as this is drying. Doesn't look so hideous, does it? So that's a good thing. All right, let's finish up the stems. All right, this one's on top, so I've got to go behind these. Now, this is, again, kind of the first time I've done. I mean, I've put the leaves on top of it, but you could see through it. You could see that it was on it. So now I'm going to do this a little different. I'll see how I like it. If you're doing acrylic, then yeah, you can do that easy. And do I care if there's any white or overlapping? Nah, don't let that bother you. All right, we'll go in with some dark. Needed to have brought that over, didn't I? Let's not do so dark yet. Let's get some of this there. There. I came over a little too far. But that's okay too. Because it's fixable. Nobody knows it doesn't automatically do that. All right, so let's start some of this. Again, this is painted. They know it's watercolor. So don't worry about it matching or actually being anywhere near perfect. And then this one is going over or under? Let's do it under. I think that's what we decided, isn't it? Now, all I can say here is trust the process. Just trust me on this. Okay, we're back to the mushroom heads. Um, some of this because it spread out, it's faded, it's not as dark as I want it. So I'm gonna kind of go back in and re-put some stuff in. There. See how much I keep going over till I'm like, okay, that's it. That's it. We'll drop in a tad bit of blue just to do something. A little bit up here. Kind of go in and just soften just a little bit. Do this one down here. If you want to see what I'm doing over in my palette, let me know. I can put it in the frame. I just, I don't know how much everybody wants to see. And if you're already doing watercolor, it may not interest you at all. But yeah, if you want to see it, I can stick it in frame. Like I said, it's not hard. I'm liking how that's like that. I don't know. It's just a little different. I kind of want to darken it an inkling, so I'm just gonna dab. Well, dabbing a lot, picking back up. There we go. Now that's good. All right, come in with a little bit of blue. Again, just in the kind of the corners. Not much on this little guy. I go in and just kind of add a tad of water to it. Not, I've already wiped my brush, so that's how little. But yeah, there we go. Okay, stems that. Let's do some more leaves. At this point, I am going to use either a really tiny one or I'll just use my script. I can use my script just as easy. I'm going to go in here and put a little bit of just a bright yellow. If you do them when they're wet, it bleeds into it. If you'll do it when it's dry, it'll have a different look. These happen to be a little dry. I don't think I can go in and get a couple on these. I would like to act differently, so I may wet them back again and I go on the one side, get some paint back in it, just on one side. There is that. See, it just kind of blends a little. There. That'll throw it off just a little bit. And then I want to go in with a little bit of blue. Blue there. I want to do some green here. Might take a minute with this little brush. There we go. Make it a little darker. There we go. I definitely want, there we go, noticeably darker. And then on this side of all these, it's not going to stick out like a sore thumb like you think. And then, do I want to do some more? I think I'm going to use this other brush to get some of this green. I want to put some of that color, but I definitely want it more green. A little bit of blue in there, darken it up. You can also, if you want to change the tone, a little brown. A little brown in there. Add some more green. I didn't want it that brown. Yeah, that I like. So that each of the flowers, or sorry, no flowers, leaves, will have a different tone to them. Let's do this one. Now I've got this kind of watery where it's just kind of, it's in there, but it's not real dark. Remember, we're going to add white Posca or a acrylic ink pen in here. Acrylic paint pen. And I'm not being terribly careful about how I even do these. There. See how the greens are starting to get their distance? Some are a little farther back. And I still think I want to make some blue in this one. You don't necessarily see the blue, but you can see what it's doing. And just a water, just a water leaf going on there. There. See how that's pulling it? I absolutely want to go in with some brown and just kind of make the stems a little brown. So I'm just kind of going over what's there. And if I don't, I don't. I mean, it's just kind of. But it adds something. You know, it gives you something else to look at. As I say in my alcohol ink classes, you know, give them some stuff to look at. Even though it doesn't make sense, put it in there. Kind of want a leaf there, just a random whatever leaf. But I think I'm gonna make it go this way, and this way. Make it tie into that. And here's my blue. Now this is going to hit differently because it's wet. And then yellow. Now something I am going to do here is I'm going to go in and I'm going to get my green really dark, really pigmented, straight into the paint. And we're going to put some fun little again, something else just to cloud it up a little bit. I pretty much think if you've got white, go ahead and do something. And we're going to do more. So, all right. And this one, I kind of want something dark. I'm not sure what I want. I don't think I want blue because the blue's pulling here. I just want to do a, what do I want to do? Let's do a different, let's do Viridian. What does that look like? It'll be a different blue. And I'm doing a tiny little stroke of it just to add something. There. I don't know that that added anything. I just visually I wanted something else there. Okay. I like my mushroom tops. I do want to add a little bit of dark to make them really show up well. So I'm going to do, I guess, some straight. It's Van Dyke that I'm using. Just straight. And when I say straight, it's just very little water. I'm getting it as dark as I can. This is the one that's not going to blend. I don't think it's still wet enough to do it. So I'm just going to do something like that. And I don't even connect all these. I just kind of, can you see the scribble? There. Every time I do a layer, I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. Because it's a little scary to keep adding, but just keep adding. Just have fun with it. Have a big time. Because the worst thing you do is, well, you send it to somebody you don't really like. But the worst thing you do is you throw it away. It's paint and paper and a little time. That's the worst thing you do. I do want to come up under here, put a shadow. I think that's kind of missing something right there. I don't know why that bugged me. All right. Ah, background. Let's pick something fun for a background. I like to do blues just because blue goes with all of this. But I want to do a very, not really a bright blue. Ooh, let's see what this does. Yeah, I didn't want that blue. I wanted this blue. So I'm going to water it down. You can always add more. Also, get this thing ready because you may want to dab. You may want to pick up a spot. Let's see. Now I just indicate. I don't even go in. I don't even try to get close. It's just something. Leave the white. It's fun to do. And it's barely in there. I sold one the other day, and a lady wrote back, and she was like, "I was surprised about the blue in the background." She goes, You couldn't tell it in my pictures. That's a photographer problem." But it made me happy that she was like, "Oh, I like that." Now the only downfall, unless you do watercolor all the time, I do alcohol ink, so this would have to come up. Um, the one good thing about having a butcher block or a plate or something is that you just leave. I would leave this and use this again. Now I'm just picking up the extra water so it just won't puddle too badly. And this one's a little darker, so I'm like kind of liking it down here. Now this gets some give in it. I'd almost love it to be a little tighter, but on the other hand, they wouldn't turn, so. I like the blotting because it's like there's dark areas, there's light areas. lighten it up to kind of blend into this one. Now, so it doesn't really scream anything. It just kind of makes it not look like it disappears into nothing. There. I like that. But we are not done. Okay, this is my Revlon dryer. I use it so much. It comes with brushes. I toss them, but it's got the three settings. It's got a high volume cool, low volume heat, and high volume heat. Love, love, love it. Now, it does blow. So if you're wanting just the heat, you would get a heat gun. But this, I use a lot in my alcohol inks. All right. I'm liking this. I dropped some yellow right here, and it's like the mistakes I love because I don't have the nerve to do them. Okay. I've got, this is a black liner. It's permanent. You definitely want to make sure water-based, all that good stuff. Okay. Huh. Wonder if it's going to be too thick. One way to find out, right? Let's do a leaf. Now, I'm not going to outline perfectly. It's going to be gappy. And yeah, I think that might be too much. Too thick. I like it though, but I think I want to do a little thinner. I don't want it to scream. Yeah, that's a little smaller. But if you really like a high look of outline, then I really kind of like that. I don't know where I got it. Interesting. All right. See, that's just indicating. This one may be out. Third pen of the day. Now this one is an Arteza. Ultra fine. There we go. And I am not staying in this at all. It's the pinning in this is almost a picture in itself. So yeah, have fun with it and just whew. This is the part I like. And then if you want to hit some of the stems. Now I do these a little darker and on purpose because I want it to separate from the stem. So I want there to be a definite line, but I'm still not going in real heavy. Now, with these things, I still go back over them. You got the color and then you've got the pen. Just adds a little fun. Now, we're going to do the stem, and I go over it kind of heavyish, but definitely not smooth, straight lines. There's a spot. Should be brown. Should be brown. There we go. Okay. Where are we at? All right, now the mushroom part. And you can, if you want to, put the underneath to the mushroom. I just didn't in this one. Sometimes I do. There's that. Okay, so that's it for the black. Yeah, let's do this one. It's a paint marker. Get a piece of paper. These are the kind you kind of have to prime up. There we go. And you may have to prime them a couple times. So I'm going to leave that right there. I mean, once you write on them, you may be writing too fast for it to keep up. All right, let's do the leaves. Now I'm just going to go on this side, opposite the darker, kind of with the yellow. If it's not a big deal. And you're not seeing this hugely. You kind of do when you go back over it. There, because I want to see it. If you've got a dark line where you want to put it right beside the dark line. Both of them kick each other around a little bit, so it's pretty cool. On these, I just stick them somewhere. But on the bigger leaves, I kind of like to either put them opposite the dark or right alongside it. I know at this point you might be thinking, well, you're losing all your colors you put in there. No, they're there. You see them. You just don't see them individually. I did all the leaves there. Let's put a couple here, like this. There. And that is little. Now, there. Okay, you can do a couple of things. Here you can still use this or acrylic paint. I kind of like acrylic paint because this can become transparent-ish. And I really want this to stand out. So I'm going to get acrylic paint. It's a warm white. Do I want warm white? I guess it doesn't matter. Put a drop out. You're not going to need that much. Okay, here's where you can do a couple of things. You can use the back of your brush. You already have it. It's right there. Or you can use these. Now, I've got two sizes. Don't know that I really need to for that. I do want the big one for this one, so probably so. So I just touch it in there. Now I'm going to pick my bottom corner where I want the biggest. So it's going to be like right there. Okay. Now I'm going to just touch it till it runs out. Do it here till it runs out. We'll come inside, do it again. This I'm just going to kind of do a couple because I just want it to be something like that. Come over here, I do the same thing. Now you can do one side of this. I just like them both done. I think that's cute. But like I say, you can just do half. I'm going to do some up here, but not near as much. What if I want to do smaller? Yeah, that's good size. There. See how we keep giving our eyes something else to look at? Because you look at it as a whole, but when you start looking at the leaves and looking at the dots and fun stuff, I do want to put some on the stem just because, well, I like to. But I'm going to do the small ones. I'm not going to do this size one. We'll start down here. Like that. There's a little tricky. Let's just do something to indicate we did, that it's in there. There. Fine, fine. All right. Yet we still have something else to do. I think this is why I love doing this type, is because you can keep adding till you kind of run out of patience or thinking. All right. So there's metallics. So I like to use these because they splatter pretty good without using tons of paint. So let me get some water in here and I'm gonna start putting it in this. Well, I just slipped over into the silver. I do not want those mixing. Okay. Okay, well, there's a good indication what it'll look like. I don't know. Do I want that or do I want the gold? I think we're going for more of the gold. Okay, get you plenty of paint. And it's not all that noticeable up against all this dark, but it's something else to look at. And because this is metallic, I do not mind putting a bunch on there. Because when you see it, can you see that? It's just something fun. Okay. I don't see anything else I want to do. I am loving this. Loving it. Okay. So I hope this gave you some good ideas. And go out and make some cards. Have fun with them. Make your little masterpiece that people can keep when you send it to them. All right. Y'all go have fun.